Hi everyone, my name is Alice Rowling. I'm a recent Juris Doctor graduate from the Melbourne Law School working in the Melbourne Law School Tax Clinic, or the MLS Tax Clinic for short. The MLS Tax Clinic is a supportive, inclusive, student-run clinic where you can receive free tax assistance from Melbourne Law School students either online or on campus at the Melbourne Law School. We are a part of the National Tax Clinic program, a government-funded initiative to help people who may not be able to afford professional advice and representation with their tax affairs. Our students are supervised by a dedicated clinic supervisor and experienced tax practitioners. To apply for assistance, please see the application form on the MLS Tax Clinic website. Today, I'll give you a brief outline of the tax-free threshold and how it works in Australia on behalf of the MLS Tax Clinic. Understanding the tax-free threshold is important as it helps you to understand your obligations and how much tax you will need to pay. In this presentation, I'll discuss an overview of what the tax-free threshold is, what the tax-free threshold is for full-year residents, what the tax-free threshold is for part-year residents, what the tax-free threshold is for non-residents, provide some examples, and some further resources. In Australia, if you are a resident for tax purposes, the first $18,200 that you earn in a financial year is tax-free. This means you don't pay any tax on it, which is why it is known as the tax-free threshold. In Australia, the financial year starts on the 1st of July and ends on the 30th of June. For example, the 2023-24 financial year began on the 1st of July 2023 and will end on June 30th, 2024. Choosing to claim the tax-free threshold means that no tax is withheld by your payer from your income under $18,200, but that will withhold tax when you earn $18,201 or more. To break down the tax-free threshold for you, it is equivalent to earning $350 a week, $700 a fortnight, or $1,517 a month. Figuring out if you are an Australian resident for tax purposes can be tricky, but it's really important because it has significant implications for you as a taxpayer. I won't be talking about residency in this video, but we have a helpful video below on our website that may be of assistance to you. If you are an Australian resident for tax purposes for the full income year, you can claim the tax-free threshold from an employer when you make your TFN declaration before starting your job. You might have income from multiple different payers. Maybe you have an employer, but you also have your own business on the side under an ABN. This does not affect your ability to claim the tax-free threshold. Generally, you would only claim the tax-free threshold from one payer at a time, and you would claim it from whoever pays you the most. However, if you are certain that you will not earn more than $18,200 in income across all streams, then you might choose to claim the threshold from each payer. If you do this and you end up earning more than $18,200 in income, you can fill out a withholding declaration for your employer that advises them that you wish to stop claiming the tax-free threshold from them. If you're an Australian resident for tax purposes at some point during the income year, but not for all of it, you will receive a part-year tax-free threshold. If you came to Australia with the intention of residing here during the income year for any amount of time, your tax-free threshold will be adjusted to reflect this and will be lower than the full year's threshold available to most resident taxpayers. The part-year tax-free threshold has two components. First, a flat amount of $13,464, then an additional amount of $4,736. This works on the number of months you were in Australia during the income year, including the month you arrived. The Australian income year runs from 1 July to 30 June the following year. You need to calculate the number of months from the month you arrived until 30 June, the end of the income year. If you're a non-resident for the full income year, you can't claim the tax-free threshold. This means you pay tax on every dollar of income you earn in Australia, regardless of whether you earn less than $18,200. For example, Amy receives a taxable pension of $384.61 per fortnight, and she also has a part-time job at her local corner store where she earns $307.69 a fortnight. That means she earns $10,000 in pension income for the year and $8,000 of income from her part-time job in a year. She claims a tax-free threshold on her pension because she receives more income than this from her job, and so no tax is withheld during the year. If she doesn't claim the threshold through her employer for her job at the corner store, her employer would withhold $64 per fortnight in tax. Assuming that Amy has no further income, then her taxable income for the year will be $18,000, placing her below the threshold, which means she would have $0 in tax payable at the end of the year, would receive a refund for the $1,664 that had been withheld when she lodges her tax return. If this was the income that Amy expected to receive the following financial year too, she could choose to claim the tax-free threshold from both payers so that no tax is withheld from her payments. Bruce became an Australian resident for tax purposes on the 1st of April 2023, meaning he was a resident for 3 of the 12 months of the 2022-23 income year. His tax-free threshold would therefore be $13,464 plus $4,736 times 3 divided by 12. This means he would not pay tax on the first $14,648 of his income for the taxable year that year. But after this, he will start to pay tax at the marginal rate. That's only applicable while he is a part-year resident. If he remains a resident moving forwards, he will be able to claim the full tax-free threshold in those years. In summary, the tax-free threshold for full-year Australian residents is $18,200. There is an adjusted threshold for part-year residents, and no amount of income is untaxed for non-residents. If you're still unsure and would like further assistance understanding the tax-free threshold, you can book an appointment with the MLS Tax Clinic, learn more about the tax-free threshold on the ATO's website, or consult a qualified accountant or legal specialist to help you assess whether or not you are below the tax-free threshold.